The sacred is revealed in the ordinary. There is a beauty in this. But how do we discover the mystery of the sacred in our seemingly mundane existence? Welcome to Revealed, a podcast sponsored by Resurrection Catholic Parish in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Let's join our hosts, Katie McAllister and Tony Pickler, as they explore the lives of people, organizations, and resources that will help us delve into the sacredness of the ordinary.
Welcome to Revealed, where we are exploring the sacredness in ordinary life. I'm Katie.
And I'm Tony.
And we have a very special guest in studio with us. And before we kind of get to that, Tony, I know it's going to be after today that our listeners are going to hear it, but what is today?
December 6th.
Yeah, and whose feast day is it?
St. Nick.
St. Nick, and I wish everybody could see, but I think we have St. Nick reincarnated in studio with us. So why don't you explain what I mean by that?
Well, it is my pleasure to introduce Rick Brunner, who is the founder of Rick's Toybox, which is a local nonprofit that makes toys for children who are in situations where a toy would be a really great thing and would put a smile on their face. So, Rick, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
So, Rick, or Nick, or St. Nick, St. Rick, whatever, however we want to.
And because the
The
viewers,
other Santa Claus.
The other Santa Claus.
because the viewers can't see this, I think it might be nice to point out that Rick actually kind of does look like Santa
He
Claus
does.
with a big white beard.
Yes, he does.
But I'm less than 300 pounds.
Yes. You don't
Not
have...
in that way. Are you like Santa Claus or St. Nick?
Oh. Well, can you just kind of tell us, who are you besides your, who is Rick? Who are you, and how did you get to this point in your life?
How I got here? Well, back in about 2011 of April, I had to stop working due to a lot of medical issues. And during that time frame, I needed to refocus from my medical issues and focus from something negative to something positive. So I turned to one of my crafts, which is woodworking. So that's how basically this kind of all started.
I have to say that woodworking, my brother-in-law does not like woodworking because you can't weld it back together. So woodworking is such a craft that takes patience, right? I mean, it is not a, messed up and I can just weld it back together.
Well, it's a craft, but it's also a craft where if you make a mistake, you can prove how you can hide your mistake.
Oh, kind of like life.
Correct.
So how did you take this this love of woodworking and turn it into something that became a community service in which you're helping people with toys?
It's based on like mental health. When I became ill, my hope was down in the dumps, basically rock bottom. And I basically gave up. So I needed a reason to refocus on something positive. So over a course of time, I came up with this little activity wooden car. And the whole principle behind this car is to take the attention from something negative and then to refocus it onto something positive. Basically, for example, if this toy car, I hate to call it a toy car, it's more of a tool. If this car is given to a child, let's say from a police officer, and the police officer is called on a call and it's given to a child, that child can be removed from a bad situation and refocus their attention onto something positive while the officer have to do what they're doing. Mm-hmm. Or in the medical field, if this child's given this toy from a doctor or a nurse, once again, that attention is now refocused on something negative and then put on something positive onto this toy while the doctors, nurses can be refocused and do their job. So really, it's not so much a toy. It's more as a tool is the way I'm looking at it. And that's what I need to do in my life. That's how this all kind of started.
I noticed that each car comes with a pack of crayons and a sucker.
Or lollipop.
Or lollipop.
Sucker.
There you go. Well, so I'm wondering, is the intent so that the car is plain wood, unvarnished? Mm-hmm. Is the intent that the child then takes the crayons and colors the car?
That gives them an opportunity to customize the car the way they would like to do it.
Nice.
And then meanwhile, they can gnaw on the sucker, basically.
There you go.
Or if it's a community type involved, let's say like a event, what a lot of times happens, the child gets the sucker and mom gets the car and the colors. And they go off and do their own thing.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh. So how do you make it? I mean, so I'm seeing this amazing wooden, and we'll put some pictures up, but how do you make this? What is the process?
Now you say how I make it. No.
Okay.
We have a team. My organization has a team of volunteers, and I can't take the credit for doing it by myself. I like to throw my volunteers, like I say, under the bus.
Or under the car.
Or under the car. Correct.
There you go.
But I'm well known. They know me as throwing them under the bus. Each car takes approximately between, let's say, about an hour and 15 minutes to produce. I got a group of volunteers down in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. They do currently all our cutting of the cars. And by cutting, drilling out the windows and the axle holes, once that is achieved, sounds kind of cruel, but we have a guy down there that we like to call maybe a donkey. He hauls them up here, and then my team of 10 up here, we do the finishing work, meaning a lot of sanding with power tools, hand sanding, and then the actual finish work.
Now, is this all done in a shop somewhere, in your garage, or where's the physical location?
Okay. The team down in the group of volunteers down in Fond du Lac, they basically work out of their home shops. Mm-hmm. Then up here in Green Bay, I have we're located at 709 South Oneida Street. It's in a retail strip mall. Volunteers basically can come and go as they please. I don't demand a schedule from my volunteers. Once again, my organization is based on kind of like mental health. I don't want this to be a job for my volunteers. Mm-hmm. I know some organization tells you have to be here Monday at 9 o'clock from 9 till 3. No, my door's open between 8 and 4, Monday through Friday. Just let me know a day ahead of time in case life isn't my way and I can't be here. Mm-hmm. Just as a sign of respect, I don't want to waste your time if I'm not here.
I'm just curious, how many toys, overall, do you have a count of how many toys you've made? And then I'm just curious, how many toys do you typically make in any given week or month?
I don't like treating this as a business. I get asked this all the time. How many cars do you make? This is fun, and I don't like putting pressure on my volunteers. I get asked numerous times, how many toys? How many toys? Like I said, it takes over an hour to make one. People that make donations and sponsors, that's a question that they usually ask. I was a number man in my career, and it put pressure on me, and it put pressure on other people. This year alone, I started playing the number game a little bit, but I'm not counting the cars. I'm counting smiles.
Yes.
And the smiles I'm counting is this way, not the individual cars. I'm not going to tell you how many cars I'm making. I'm going to tell you where the cars are going. Like, for example, I gave them to 35 individual police officers. And at the same time, I got to bond with those officers at a local gas station. I got, let's say, 8 different individual police departments where I gave them a case of 50 or 100 of them. 22 different fire departments around northeastern Wisconsin. The Flight for Life, Eagle 3, they train. 5 different school events with police officers. Along with that, I may have given them school supplies. Team up with local stores in town, bring in notepads or glue sticks and things like that. I don't like so much giving them to the hospital so much, but I work around the back door, give them directly to the doctors and nurses. Can't really disclose how that's done, but that's a little trick. But 2 directly to doctors on a regular basis, 9 to nurses on a regular basis under the table. Also, 7 third world countries.
7?
Working with different missionaries around the country. We also did a special project for a nursing home where my team cut out wood necks and working with some mental health issue type groups of people, they painted them up. And to put a smile on some people in a nursing home, I gave them to them, and they basically put them out in the hallways and the seating rooms and things to brighten the day of the people in the nursing home. To get some community involvement and things like that. Just something different and unique that we wanted to stand up and do in the community. Now, if you thought the Eagle 3 was a pretty high standard for my toys, well, I think I can't go any higher than this. I ran into a Catholic nun at Walmart shopping for supplies. Well, after her cart was full with supplies, I even heaped it up with cases of my toys. So I even went higher than the Eagle 3. And I thought that was a pretty good accomplishment.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say you put on a rocket that went up.
No, I think that's a pretty high accomplishment.
I love on your website, I love how you say you don't count the cars, you count the smiles. And on your website, I saw that there's a line that says, "You're putting smiles on children's faces one toy at a time." I absolutely love that. And it sounds like it's beyond children to adults and seniors as well. You've had toys go to Ukraine, if I understand correctly, and now most recently Israel, or on their way maybe to Israel.
Okay. We did. Originally, we shipped 896 to Ukraine. All my big projects like this blows my mind. That particular project on a Thursday night, watching national news, I seen children in a refugee camp in Poland, Warsaw, watching cartoons. I took one look at my wife and said, I got to pull them away from that cartoon. That's not good for them. That's not the right thing for them to be doing. Well, by Sunday night, I had arrangements made. Sunday night and Monday, I called one of my buddies, said, can you give me a hand? Well, yeah, he gave me a hand. He called he called the local TV media crew, and they came in my shop, and let me tell you, the world knew about it, and by that time, I had basically 50 volunteers rotating into my shop. Friday, I was able to turn in 896 of my toy cars. Monday, they were bouncing on a truck down to Chicago. Wednesday, direct flight to Poland. That Saturday, by the good Lord's hand, they were in the hands of the kids.
It's amazing. And I think it's for work like that it was the 2022 Foundation's Health and Wholeness Ethics and Action Award banquet or breakfast that you were the recipient for. It was because of things like this that you're doing. How did that feel to receive an award like that?
I can't describe it. I couldn't grasp it. And then, not to say that wasn't enough of a project. 2 months after that project, I was able to ship 300 of my toy cars right into Kyiv, Ukraine.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then to win that award, I don't want to sound like the award didn't mean anything, but just to achieve, a little old guy from Green Bay, Wisconsin, to achieve shipping over 1,000 toys into a war zone. And now right now, currently, I got 900 toys going into another war zone during Hanukkah and Christmas into Israel.
You can write that script. That's beyond any...
Jerusalem, on top,
Yeah.
ground zero, where this all started from.
Beautiful. Just beautiful.
How can anybody, a little guy from Green Bay, Wisconsin,
But that just proves anybody can do it. Anybody can bring that joy, bring those smiles. It's possible.
and it's not just smiles to the kids. It's my volunteers, they're just, they're lit, let me tell you. And even working with the synagogue and other 501c3s, bringing other things in, it was just, it was great.
Yeah.
It was just great.
Do you have a specific story of one time that really you remember bringing a smile? Or are you more like you send them off and you don't see when children receive them? Or
Normally, I try to ask for a picture back, just to see the smile, to get that feeling of accomplishment. I don't know. I just like seeing that picture. And for my first Ukraine project, I wasn't expecting that. I thought, hey, I achieved this. This is cool. It's done and over with. And the TV reporter, it was kind of funny. I was relocating my shop from an industrial setting to more of a retail setting. And when I was in the process of moving, I was just setting up my shop. And the worst day possible, I'm installing a brand new toilet. And this reporter calls me as I'm installing this toilet. Rick, we want to come over and interview you about your new shop. Oh, not today. I'm installing a new toilet. What are you talking about? Well, the whole thing was just a major setup. She had pictures of this Ukraine project with the kids working on my toys. I didn't know this. Well, here she is filming this, and meanwhile she started whipping out these pictures. I didn't expect this at all. I was just expecting, how's the new shop and all this stuff, and she just started whipping out these pictures. I was just a small fry in the frying pan. I wasn't expecting pictures. I wasn't expecting anything in return. And let me tell you, if I'm having a bad day, I just think about looking at those pictures and saying, my day's not bad.
absolutely.
I love on your website that you have those photos scrolling. So if somebody goes to your website, they'll see the pictures and the smiles of the recipients of these cars, and it is breathtaking to just sit there for a moment and let that sink in a little bit.
And that was the point why I did that. It's just a still picture. Looking at one picture, I wanted to stress that feeling. I can't put it in words. I just can't.
I know a lot of nonprofits have strategic plans and 3 to 5 years out and all of that. I get the sense that that's not Rick's Toy Box. So as you look at the future, I mean, what do you say about the future? Just one day at a time, or what do you do about that?
Seat of the pants.
Well, I'm a part of one that's kind of the same way in whatsoever you're doing. That's for sure.
Yeah. Somebody said after this Israel project, what's your next project? Well, guess what? What are you making toys for next? Well, today I ran at the local, what do we call them, police substations on my way to the gas station, which are your quick trips. So I just so happen every day, if I go my normal route to the shop, I go past 3 quick trips. If I want to go the leisurely way, I go past 4. Well, guess what? I ran into an officer at one. I gave him a box of my toys to carry in his car. Well, this particular officer, he was a past clientele of mine. He only had 3 left in his car. Well, he's got 5 more, so he's got a total of 8 in his car right now. Wow. And it's It's cool.
Never know what's going to happen day to day, huh?
Yeah.
You know,
I just go
that's-
by the seat of my pants.
Yeah.
I call it spirit driven. You know, you're led by
It's
the
wherever
wherever the spirit takes
the
you.
spirit takes me. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't have a game plan. I guess it just. I got to have the cars made. Kind of a joke because we always had a shop joke going on. The bathroom wallpaper in our shop is 1960s, and one of my volunteers, when we were setting up the shop, wanted to rip out the bathroom wallpaper in the worst way. And we said, no, we just don't have the time. We don't have the time. And I finally said, okay, when we get 1,000 cars in inventory, maybe. Well, now when we hit that 1,000 car mark, I run out of the shop with a case of cars. So we never hit that 1,000. So we never hit that 1,000 point, you know, just to keep the wallpaper on the bathroom walls. So that's the way I operate.
I love that. I love that.
I think some of the best things that happen in our community are both spirit driven and just grow organically by the need. And I love your vision for all of that. It's fantastic.
So, if somebody wanted to get involved and support your mission, what help do you need? How can they help you?
Okay, number one, we definitely need the cash, just like any other type of a nonprofit. The issue we're having with cash donations, and when I go knocking on doors, here's a major problem I have. If I knock on a local business, they come back and say to me, I just don't give in Green Bay, I just don't give in Brown County, I just don't give in northeastern Wisconsin. Your money's not going to stay here, so we don't want to give to you. If I go to somebody in Wisconsin, they'll say, once again, your money's not going to stay in Wisconsin. If I go to a religious organization, well, your money is not going to stay just in a religious organization area. I do too much. I go by the seat of my pants. Okay? That's a problem I have. For funding, nobody wants to fund an organization like me. It's tough. It is super tough. I'm mental health. I'm mental health locally, county-wise, state-wise, worldwide.
Globally, yeah.
But nobody wants to help me. Now, I supply smiles worldwide. Oh, nobody wants to help me. I set up other woodworkers around the world to do the same thing that I'm doing over the internet. I can't get tool sponsors. I can't get nobody to help me. No.
So in terms of donations, people listening to this, sending you money, how do they best donate to you?
You can go to my website, rickstoyboxinc.com, or they can send them to me, 709 South Oneida, Suite number 5, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Or you can stop into my shop. I'm more than willing to give you a nickel tour. Wait, 25 cents to it. 25 cents to it because there's a joke behind
Inflation.
that.
Oh,
There's a major joke behind that. If you talk to my shop volunteers, they'll know why.
All right, well, somebody has to go to your shop to get the story. And if somebody wants to volunteer, how do they
Stop in the shop. We can discuss it.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking we have some woodworkers out there that would love to support you in that way.
Also, we have like a little restore. We have woodworkers, we have sawmills that donate their materials, and then we do sell as those items to help our cause. Something that we started about a year ago, kind of on a trial and error basis. It's been working out great.
That's cool.
I'm just curious, before we kind of move towards wrap up, like each car, what does it cost to make that car? And to put the crayons and
the whole package deal is about $10.
Oh, it is? Wow. Okay. All right.
Now, you multiply that by 900.
Yeah. So, Takes a
Carry
lot
the
of money.
1, 2, 3.
I'm not doing that with my math.
You had lots of zeros and a comma.
Yeah.
You hit like $5,000.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So, Rick, we always end our show with asking our guest, how do they see the holy as a sacred revealed in the work or the ministry or the activities that they do? And we're just curious, in terms of Rick's Toy Box, how do you see the sacred and the holy revealed in what you do there?
That is so hard. I am touching so many lives in so many different ways. These toys, I know for a fact, are the very first toy of a child. I know that for a fact. This toy can be the very last toy a child could ever have. I know that for a fact. The people that are making these toys, how it has helped them, addressing their needs, their mental health, how personally it helped myself, how it crossed so many different paths, so many different cultures, meeting with different religious groups, different nationalities. It's just amazing. Yeah, I worked on some of these projects, and it totally floors me. I mean, 11, 12 years ago, I was basically told to sit in a chair and rot away. And now I sit and I walk in my shop and I look up to the dear Lord and just say, my God, this is impossible. This is really happening to me. And what's next? I don't want to say, how can I do this? Because I don't function that way. But boy, did I really do that? And now, with the Ukraine project, people are still talking about that. I can walk someplace. You're the guy that did the Ukraine project. And I'd like to say, no, that was my twin brother. Walk away. But no. And now the Israel, unfortunately, this Israel project, there's so much hatred and confusion. And it's so sad. It is sad. Working with the Jewish community, so many of them wanted to stay in hiding. And it saddened me. It just tore my heart.
Well, Saint Nick, Rick Brunner.
Saint Rick.
It has Saint Rick. I think that's
The
where we're
sandal
going to go.
from the other pole.
Yes.
We have been so honored with your presence today. We are going to try to get the word out, both in our parish and then hopefully way beyond that with this podcast, to support the incredible work that you do with Rick's Toy Box. What a vision, what a the ability to take a situation where you were down and out personally, where you had some challenges going on in your life, and to take your gift and your talent that you had and spin that around to the positive, to put a smile on every child's face, one toy at a time. I think it's just an unbelievable story, and I am just feeling privileged that we had the time to sit down with you and talk. So thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for allowing me to be on the show and share my story.
Yeah. So, and thank you to our listeners for joining us on this wonderful episode of Revealed. And until next time,
keep looking for the sacred in the ordinary.
This has been Revealed, a podcast sponsored by Resurrection Catholic Parish in Green Bay, Wisconsin.